who have joined today's meeting. Once again, warm welcome. Thank you. Over to
Thank you, Juby Paul sir, and also
Deepa
welcome.
ma'am. Over
Yes,
to you.
thank you, Juby sir, and welcome to you also, who is leading the Kochi Metro Sahodaya in a wonderful way, very meticulously. And may I now request Chandamarakshan sir, the principal of Saraswati Vidya Niketan and city coordinator for CTET, and also the national assessment coordinator. He is holding wonderful, I mean, many important posts in the CPSC too. So welcome to you, sir, for your inaugural address.
Thank you, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am? Deepa, ma'am?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, audible.
Most respected Secretary, Kochi Metro Sahodaya, Juby, sir. Treasurer, the vibrant mastermind behind the training program and all other programs of Kochi Metro Sahodaya, Dr. Deepa Chandran, Dr. Dinesh Babu, sir, and all the members of Metro Sahodaya and dear teachers, very good evening to one and all. It's my honor and privilege for me to address you all in this evening. As you all know, we are passing through a very tough and challenging situation. In the last March, the pandemic started, we thought that within 2-3 months, everything will be all right. We can meet each other and we can conduct the classes in an offline mode. But unfortunately, after 15 months, still we are under pressure and challenges. So at what time it will be all right, we cannot say an exact day. So the situation is getting worse and worse again and again. So when the situation compelled all of us to accustomed with the latest challenges, and in the last 1 year, all of we use different platforms or technology to interact with our kids. There are so many initial difficulties, but at the same time, all of them are very, especially the CBSE family, conducted the online classes in a very effective and in a very comfortable way. So from the last 1 year, we learned a lot of lessons. And even in the last 1 year itself, our Metro Sahodaya, as well as many organizations, organized or conducted various programs for the teacher empowerment. Our Kochi Metro Sahodaya very proudly announced we are providing very informative sessions for our teachers to equip them with the latest technologies and strategies. So I'm very sure the web series started by Kochi Metro Sahodaya. Today is the first day of the web series. And with us having the presence of Dr. Dinesh Babu, it's a very eminent personality, CBSE resource person. And I think in this pandemic situation itself, he conducted hundreds and thousands of sessions throughout India and abroad. So, sir, it's our pleasure to be as a part of Kochi Metro Sahodaya. And definitely, our very purpose of Kochi Metro Sahodaya is to improve the faculty skill, how to handle the pandemic and the situation and the latest technology at the maximum. Then only
they will go for a debate again, and they need to defend. So simply they can't do it. This again an experiential learning approach. This is again a 21st century pedagogical approach. This is CBE approach, competency-based education approach, CBE learning. Again, when students conduct a debate or a group discussion, whatever maybe, you can even think about a group discussion here, GD here. Look, they need to improve their communication. All four skills, 4 C's. 4 C's are very, very important. What are 4 C's? Critical thinking, creative thinking, collaboration, communication. Will it be improved or not? Will it be improved or not? You are doing only a simple debate. But they have to justify For justify something, you need to think critically. Without critical thinking, a justification will never take place. Am I correct or not? Hello? Okay? So this is the way we do it. Now look, students will be able to justify why they would make a good minister. Go for a GD, group discussion here. After studying the roles and responsibilities of central and state government in India. This is the way you can do it. I'm not explaining how to conduct a GD. And students will be able to differentiate between climate and weather by illustrating the case of their local city. This can be done as a survey. Students will be able to differentiate between climate and weather by illustrating the case of their local city. This you can elaborate. Maybe you can make the students to go for a data collection. Online data collection is possible now. From that, they will differentiate what is climate, what is weather. You can ask the students in the month of June the rainfall in different cities of India. Maybe Kochi, then Chennai, Bangalore, Mumbai, Calcutta, Delhi, or maybe Ahmedabad or Kanpur, or Nagpur. So like this, students will collect the data, rainfall, and they will conclude. They will conclude in the month of June, the climate. What is that climate? We have seen many lane people say today's climate is not good or good. Instead of using the right word for today's weather, that is weather. Atmospheric condition of a particular day, that is weather. Okay, for a period, that is climate. So students will, they will do a survey. In that one, they will compare all those things, and they will tell in June, the month of June, the climate of Delhi. In the month of June, the climate of this one. Then when they do it, they will say on 21st of June, the weather in Delhi was like this. They learn it by doing a survey. Through online, it is possible. So we need to make the students to go for some surveys and all. It is possible even for physics. Okay, even for physics. And when you teach current, let them go for a survey in their neighborhood, maybe 4 or 5 houses, and they will first make how many gadgets they use, their electricity bill. They will compare the electricity bill. They can even go for an analyzing all those things. Then that's again competency-based education. This is the way we teach. Instead of teaching them, they get experience. They involve in learning. That is active learning. For that, we need a concrete learning outcome. That okay, we do everything for achieving the learning outcome. What are learning outcomes? Please remember the formal statements that tell what a student is able to do. Please remember that. Not know, to do after learning a given concept. That is competency-based education. Gone are those days now. Okay. No, students will know. No. Okay. Now, the competencies that the learner is supposed to acquire in each grade, in each subject. That is learning outcome. This is the key. First thing. Once you formulated the learning outcome, you discuss the learning with every learner so that every learner will involve in their learning. Even, I tell you, you need to discuss these things with your parents. Right? Now look. Curriculum, as I said, what is that? What is it the learner needs to learn or know in order to demonstrate the learning? Okay. Now, pedagogy. I have already told you, classroom transitions or activities which are basics for achieving learning outcomes. It must be child-centered and inclusive in nature. Look now. See, once we follow activity-based approach, that is always child-centered. You can include every type of learners also in that one. To support students to become independent and self-reliant and lifelong learners, this point is very, very important. To support students one of the purposes of even NEP, New Education Policy also, it is told, we need to make independent learners, lifelong learners. Why lifelong learners are important now? Because things keep changing every day. New knowledge, especially in technology, Everything is changed daily. So we need to be lifelong and independent learners. I tell you, one of the major objectives of education is to make independent thinkers, but we hardly make. Our present system only makes zombies. What is the meaning of zombie? Z-O-M, som, B-A-E, B, zombies. Zombie, Z-O-M, B-A-E, zombie. What's the meaning? Our present education system makes zombies. Yeah, zombies, exactly. Rasida, exactly, zombies. Living dead, exactly. A lifeless person moving mechanically, absolutely. A lifeless person moving mechanically, lifeless. You know why? See, actual meaning of zombie, it's an African word. English language has adopted many words from other languages, right? A zombie is a word taken from African language. Means dead body. You know what happens in Africa? Before the cremation, they make the dead body to dance by supporting something, they what is tie a stick and all in their armpit or with arms or with legs and all, and they make the dead body to stand and dance according to the music before it is cremated, right? Somebody will lift the legs, somebody will lift the hands, and somebody will shake the head and all, dead body will dance. And can a dead body dance? No, because others make them to dance. The same thing happened in our education system. We don't make any independent learners. Okay, we always give the things, tailor-made things. We feed them with a spoon, we feed them always. So we need to make independent learners with scientific temper. They need to think independently. They need to think. You need to make them to think. That's the key. Make them to think. It's not happening. It's not happening because we give ready-made answers. We don't give chance for them to think independently. So in the classroom, you make sure that they think, they learn independently so that they become lifelong learners. A lifelong learner is a lifelong earner. That's a quality we all must have now. Clear now? Look, it includes both scholastic and co-scholastic areas. Now there is no separation. Scholastic, co-scholastic, everything is together. To implement experiential, I gave active learning, collaborative learning, case studies, etc. Maybe case study. I give you one example of case study before I go to the, assessment part. Maybe an independent thinker question also I can give you. Okay. Look, we teach, this example I tell in every class, we teach chemistry, we have a chapter, matter, right? Matter. Normally, how do we teach? We go to the classroom, maybe you carry some, models of all three. I have seen most of the teachers, they carry ice to the classroom and they say this is solid, right? This is solid. Then they heat up it, then it becomes water, then say this is liquid, then you heat it again, then it becomes steam, then they say this is gas. This is the way it is taught. Yes or no? Then demonstrative approach it is. Okay, that's good approach, no doubt. Okay, through demonstration, teacher teaches. Very good. Then after that, what you do, you will tell the students what are the qualities or characteristic of solid, characteristic of liquid, characteristic of gas. This is that we teach them. Okay, we make them even to by heart these things. After that, same questions are asked in the examination. Okay, but I tell you, now we live in the era of case studies. I give an example. Okay, that see, you can give a question like this. A newspaper report says that petrol pump owner of maybe Todugura has been arrested for adulteration. Okay, I repeat the question. What the newspaper, that piece of news says, petrol pump owner of Todugura has been arrested for adulteration. It is blamed the petrol pump owner has added kerosene to petrol. Okay, this is the case. This is case paragraph, right? Case. Now questions. These are the questions. Okay, this is the way case studies are done. What characteristic of liquid enabled the petrol pump owner to go for adulteration? What quality of the liquid enabled the petrol pump owner to go for adulteration? First question. Second question, water is easily available. Instead of mixing water, why did he choose water instead of, sorry, kerosene? Why did he choose kerosene? These are the two questions. Are you all thinking now? Hello? You're all with me, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good, good, good. So give me answer. Give me answer. Give me answer, please. Money, okay, okay. Money, Bindu says money is, of course. Greed, you can say. I'm not asking the value. It's a value-based question also, of course. But I'm asking the science here. Characteristic of liquid. What characteristic of liquid help the petrol pump owner to go for adulteration? It's a case-based question. Mixability of liquids. Who says this? Rajini. Very good. Rajini, no? Rajini. Very good. Your answer is right. Soluble, density of liquid, mixable, liquid form. Okay, mixability, density, and okay. Kerosene is also a product of crude oil. That's why, okay. What is mixable with petrol, of course. Why? Anyway, so I tell you how case-based question is answered. Right? What you can do, let's see now what are the characteristics of liquid. And then you make the students to compare and think. That's the approach. Mixability is the answer. Okay. However, how it is answered, how you make the students to think and compare. Critical thinking. Okay. Here you can develop critical thinking, problem solving. All these things you can develop through a case study. Or okay, how? What is the first characteristic of liquid? It says it doesn't have, liquid doesn't have a shape. Then you make the students to think. This is reflection. Okay, this is reflection. You make them to think. Is it because of that? Then students say no. It takes the shape of the container where it is kept. Is it because of that? Again, answer is no. Then what is the third characteristic says? Molecules are loosely packed. Okay, in solid, molecules are tightly packed, but whereas in liquid, molecules are loosely packed. Then what happens? Students will think. There are intermolecular spaces available. This answer. Okay, as the molecules are loosely packed, intermolecular spaces are available. Okay, so if you mix a liquid with another liquid, that particular liquid will get mixed in the intermolecular spaces. So with naked eye, you can never trace it. Because of this characteristic, this is mixability. Okay, because of this characteristic, the petrol pump owner has gone for adulteration, or you can say that helped him to go for adulteration. First question is answered. Okay, first question is answered. Now, second question, maybe it's a really higher order question in 8th or 9th standard, because of course, for a common man, that is density. But if you ask chemistry teachers and all, I haven't seen that answer from anybody. Of course, my subject is not chemistry, still, non-polar and polar quality. Okay, water is polar, and this one, kerosene and petrol, they are non-polar. So you cannot mix water because of this, and of course density also. If you mix water to petrol and all, it will not get mixed because of these qualities. Okay, anyway, so we need to make the students to think like this. These are case-based questions. Example for case-based questions. I tell you, from CBSE has already introduced this. 2021 board examination, 20% questions were supposed to be asked through case studies. Next year it will be 30%. By 2025, 60% of the questions will be based on case studies like this, so that the students need to think. Students need to think and write. And apart from this, Indian students will appear for an examination called PISA. P-I-S-A, PISA. Have you heard this PISA? Not the pizza what we eat. P-I-S-A, PISA. Has anyone heard about this one? Can you please give me an answer? Full form of PISA. P-I-S-A, Indian students supposed to appear from this year. I don't know what is the final decision. but very sooner rather than later, our students will be appearing. Nobody's giving me an answer. Sorry, I didn't see it. No, program for, yes, Sorna, international. Yes.
So it is for program for international student assessment.
Absolutely. Mary Sabu gave me the answer, right? Program for, okay, now I'm getting answer. Program for international students assessment. What is that? Hebisipa Chako. I don't know whether I pronounce your name correctly or not. Anyway, good. Congrats, Mary Sabu. So that's the exam. Program for international students assessment. We need to prepare our students for that. There, this kind of questions will be asked. Okay. See, in the year 2011, Indian students appeared for this exam. This is the real yardstick of the standard of your school. Let me tell you. Students from Panchkula area, because that particular region was considered as the best region among CBSE regions. Now it is, of course, our region, Trivandrum. Then students from Panchkula appeared in 2011. I've been the students who completed 12th and 10th, I think. And 73 countries participated in that examination. And India's position was penultimate from last, okay? Last but one, 72. One Kazakhstan or some stan, I don't remember exactly. One country broke away from Soviet Union, thank God. They were behind us. That was the performance. The students who scored more than 90% in board examination, their performance in PISA. That's the standard we have. Okay, I never say Indians are bad. We are really excellent people, but we are not given the right opportunity to learn. When the right opportunity is given, we really blossom. Our students from IIT, they're really toppers in the world. We lead the world still. This 10%, what I said, employable people, they lead the world. You look at the leading 500 companies in America, there will be definitely an Indian in the strategical position. I never say we are bad, but our policy is not good. Especially in school education, one of the worst methods we use. That's why our students, appeared in PISA examination like this. We need to change. That's what NEP says. New education policy says about that one. Either the method what we follow now, we blindly follow Britishers. What they introduced in the 19th century, okay, reading, writing, arithmetic. We still follow that. We only test the memory power of the students. Britishers never wanted an Indian to think independently. They never wanted an independent learner. They wanted only clerks from India, clerk. So that, they know only how to read, how to write, how to communicate, that's all. Or basic operations, mathematics, division, multiplication, or subtraction, or addition, whatever you call it. So we need to change now. That's why this CBE is introduced. That's why new education policy is introduced. It will be implemented soon. Let me remind you, CBE, competency-based education, has already been introduced. In the training theme of CBSE in the last academic year was this competency-based education. Let me remind you, this is not new for CBSE school. We are supposed to implement this. Clear? Yes, very good, very good. That please read, what is your name? Hepsiba Chako. She has given it very clearly. The program for international student is an international assessment that measure 15-year-old students reading, mathematics, and science literacy every 3 years. This also includes measure of general or cross-curricular competencies such as collaborative problem solving. Excellent. Thank you, Mrs. Chako. Excellent. Very good. Okay, very good, very good. So I hope you understood now the pedagogy and all. Any doubt? Any doubt? I move to the last part. Any doubt? No. So far the things are clear to you, right? Now look, purpose of assessment. Going to the last part. Now, purpose of assessment. Can anybody say purpose? I already told you how much. Tell me now, purpose of assessment. Can anybody say me the purpose of assessment? Hello. To find learning gap, level of student outcome, very good, very good. I'm getting answer. How many students learn? Lithium Mathu has correctly given me
To
that.
find
Yes, I'm
to find how many students are achieved, not achieved, fully achieved, like that.
Very
That
good,
is the
Alicia.
purpose of assessment. After end of the class, a teacher should know how many achieved, not achieved, like that, sir.
Very good, very good. Right answer. Right answer. Okay, good. So you are giving me correct
Thank you,
answers.
sir.
Very good.
Thank
Check
you.
the learning. Now look now. Purpose of assessment. Look, it's an opportunity to demonstrate the learning. Look the difference now. Instead of telling the students, you have an examination tomorrow. If you don't score good marks, I will take you to the principal or your parents will be informed, all those things. Instead of terrifying the students, you tell them, look, children, you have an opportunity to demonstrate the learning. Look the difference. This approach we need to, in fact, inculcate right from KG. Exam, no more exam. Assessments are opportunities to demonstrate the learning, to check the learning of the student, because you have already stated the learning outcomes. That's the third point says, to find the learning outcomes, to find if the learning outcomes have been achieved. In other words, what is that? To find the learning gap. What is that learning gap? You have stated in the beginning learning outcomes. When we go for an assessment to check whether these learning outcomes have been achieved, and you find that there are some children, they are unable to achieve it. Okay, so why do you want to find the learning gap? So that you initiate remedial teaching. I tell you one thing, remedial teaching is not reteaching. Remedial teaching is not reteaching. After finding out the learning gap, you have to then. Thank you. Okay, so after finding out the learning gap, you find out the root cause. Root cause, why there is a gap. Could be I don't know who has on again. Please mute again, sir. Please mute everyone again.
Sir, can you please unmute yourself, sir?
Yeah. Okay, remedial teaching is not reteaching. It is after finding out the learning gap, you will find out the root cause of the learning gap. It could be the problem of teacher also sometimes. Students sometimes lack interest, psychological issues, learning problems, learning difficulties, or maybe lack of basics. So according to that, after finding out the learning gap, you will find out the root cause. Accordingly, you will initiate remedial teaching. I hope it is understood. Okay. Now, these are the modes of assessment we have. Assessment of learning augmented with assessment as learning and assessment for learning. 3 modes of assessment. Okay. What are all those things? Okay. Assessment for learning. Please remember, it's a part of everyday teaching practice. Assessment at the time of learning. To check what they understood, how they learn. Assessment for learning. It is nothing but formative assessment. It is nothing but formative assessment. See, an assessment which is done at the time of learning. For example, I will go back to the first of the activity what we did. There, what were our learning outcomes? The students will be able to identify Indian currency, different denomination of Indian currency, whether they achieved it or not. When they do the activity, while they are doing it, teacher will assess all these things. So what is assessment for learning? An assessment which is done at the time of learning, formative assessment. You must have, okay, maybe rubrics and the criteria for this also, different levels also, how much achievement, different levels in certain areas. In role play example, Role play example, you have all the new words have been used or not. That is if they use that is criteria. Okay, using of new words in the role play, that is criteria. What is rubrics? If they use all the new words, you give 5 out of 5 marks when you assess them. All the new words have been used, 5 out of 5. Only maybe they are supposed to use 12 new words. They used only 10 new words. 10 words. That means second rubrics only 4 marks. 8 words 3 marks. Like that also you will fix. For assessment for learning, we need to fix rubrics and criteria also. Okay, criteria, different parameters, rubrics, the level, how much. Okay, so that you can give specific feedback to students. So what is assessment for learning? An assessment which is done at the time of learning. Sorry, at the time of learning with rubrics and criteria. With the criteria and rubrics. Is it clear? What is assessment for learning? I hope you understood. Okay. Now assessment as learning. This may be something new to you. Okay. The assessment takes place in students' learning process. All assessments are like that. To monitor the learning process, this is the key. To monitor the learning process. Here, what is important, assessment done by learners themselves. They know now the learning outcomes. Okay, the purpose is to improve students' learning by reflection. You need to make the students reflect. After every activity, let them reflect. Did I achieve learning outcome or not? If not, why? Find out the reason, correcting it. Am I in right direction or not? If not, why? Okay, how many new words I will be able to use in real life? Why I am unable to use certain words? Why? Finding out the reason, correcting. This is reflection. Assessment as learning, very, very important tool. Portfolio is the best example for this one. Portfolio is a tool which can be used as assessment as learning. We have already started using it portfolio. If you really understand what is portfolio, I don't have time today to explain portfolio because I need at least half an hour to explain real portfolio. So if you really understand what is portfolio, that can be used as a very, very effective tool for assessment as learning. But this much only you understand, an assessment done by learners themselves. You simply make them to reflect. At least 3, okay, at least 3-2-1 approach. Every day after the class, you can do it. After the class, you can make the students to reflect like this. After every day class, after every period, before you leave, you make the students. It can be used as an exit card also. What is that? 3 things I learned. 2 things I will use it in my real life. 1 thing I would like to explore more. Language class, 3 new words I learned today. 2 new words I will use from my life. Sorry, in my life right from today. 1 word I would like to know more because you are so fascinated with that and explore more. Maybe you are unable to get the full meaning of it. That's why you want to explore it more. Maybe. So 3-2-1 approach, reflection, 3-2-1. It can be used as an exit card also. 3 things I learned. 2 things I would like to implement in my life. 1 thing I would like to explore more. That's also reflection. Clear? Any doubt? Assessment as learning? You need to explore more. Okay, you need to explore more in assessment of learning. Now, assessment of learning. Assessment done at the end of teaching and learning process. This is what we do. This is what we do. It's a product. It's a summative assessment, you can say. Evaluate students' achievement here. Achievement. Consider it to be more of a product. The exams, what we do after a topic, unit test, what we do, unit test, or monthly test, weekly test, half-yearly exam, then what is a term examination, annual examination, all these things. Okay, whatever we do after completion of a particular thing, we do maybe a pen and paper test. Even some practical examinations are also assessment of learning. Okay, and the thing is that in the new pattern of question paper, we see that case-based questions are also included. Case-based questions are included in our pen and paper test. So this is summative assessment. This after a chapter being taught, it's an evaluate students' achievement considered to be more of a product after learning. But assessment for learning at the same time, simultaneously you are correcting the students. That's the real. So I tell you, when NEP is implemented in letter and spirit, we will give more emphasis on assessment as learning and assessment for learning. Of course, this will be there. Here we will have more case-based questions. We will not simply test the, their memory power. Is it clear? Any doubt? I'm going to the benefits. What are the benefits of? What are the benefits of competency-based education? Now look, learners know exactly what is expected of them. How do they know it? Because we state learning outcomes in the class. We discuss learning outcomes in the class. We talk about the objective so that they know it. Teachers know what needs to be accomplished. You go with a clear goal in your mind, teachers. These are the learning outcomes. We need to see these skills are achieved by students. These values are. Okay, so teachers know what needs to be accomplished. It promotes the acquisition of skills and competencies. Yeah, okay. The knowledge of learning outcome paves way to self-assessment by students. That's the key. Assessment as learning. Knowledge of learning outcome paves way to self-assessment by students. Helps learners to accept the responsibility because they know they're supposed to learn this. They are unable to do this. Why? They're finding out the reason and they will definitely take the responsibility for this one. So I hope it is understood now. So I'm stopping now. Thank you very much. But please don't go now. Please don't go now. Okay, let's go for this 3-2-1 approach now. 3-2-1 approach. So use chat box. Use chat box. In the meantime, you can ask doubts. Even I would like to hear a couple of feedbacks orally also. And before that, you just in chat box 3 things you learned, 2 things you will implement in your life, and 1 thing you would like to explore. As a teacher, you know 3 things you learned today, 2 things you implement in your classroom, 1 thing you will explore more. Please type it. So thank you. And even if you have any doubt, you can ask me the doubts. You can ask me the doubts also. I'm stopping the presentation now. Thank you very much. Thank you, Deepa Madam. Thank you, Jubi sir. Thank you, the whole group of Chandamarajan sir and Bharat Sahodaya team, Kochi Metro team. Thank you very much. So I'm available for another 10 minutes for your doubts. So 3 things you learned, 2 things you would implement in life. I'm only getting thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You are all welcome. But I would like to say one.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful long session.
Thank you.
We didn't feel the time was so, we felt the time was so short. Your class was interesting. All the stuff has gone into what they want to know. And in the beginning of the academic year, it is always good that, these type of classes go so that teachers, when they prepare their lesson plans, when they start their classes, they can plan their activities accordingly. And as we all know, the lesson plan should be activity based. Lesson plan should be outcome based. It should be art integrated, ICT, sports, everything should be integrated when a teacher prepares a lesson plan. And art integration is also very important. So whatever is there, the pedagogy and methodology is very important, and the pedagogy and methodology which the teachers use has to lead to the outcome and competency based. So the child has to experience a totally different approach to learning by our teachers which will be given this academic year. So as the first program of we started with your session, it was so fruitful. We had nearly 913 people participating, 33 people participating, right, Jubi sir?
Yes,
It
yes.
was very good strength all across India. People have participated. Now we will, I mean, if the teachers have any questions, queries, if it is no, then any queries or anything which the teachers want to ask to the chat box. I think there is no queries as such. That means that class was so perfect that they didn't have any chance for asking questions. Javisa, can we go for a vote of thanks?